Welcome to Daily Timothy Time. My name is Carl Coates, and it's a privilege, pleasure, and an absolute joy to be with you once again with an open King James Bible. Today, the 2nd of April, 2025. I'm coming to you from a little village called Kattem, just outside of Trondheim here in Norway. And if you are listening to me now and you are in this area and you are looking and desiring and craving a Bible study whereby the teacher rightly divides the word of truth and reads from a King James Bible, contact this ministry. We would be glad to have some fellowship with you. Right, we're in Genesis chapter 6. So I want to pick up from verse 18 this morning. But with thee I will establish my covenant, and thou shalt come into the ark, thou and thy sons, and thy wife, and thy sons' wives with thee. And of every living thing of all flesh, two of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female, of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. Two of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. And take thou unto thee of all food that is eaten, and thou shalt gather it to thee, and it shall be for food for thee and for them. Thus did Noah, according to all that God commanded him, so did he. Folks, that ends off the chapter. Some light commentary here, if I may, just very quickly. There is actually so much to talk about here. Time doesn't allow to get through it all, so let's just have a couple of bullet points here. How many souls get into the ark? There's 8. If you go over to 2 Peter chapter 2 verse 5, you read of eight persons, 8 people. That's pretty easy to work out. So out of all the population of the world, only 8 people get into the ark. The ark and the flood. That's like the flood is like a type of tribulation period that's still in the ages to come. So it's a type of these folks get in the ark, they come out, and they go into the kingdom. It's wonderful typology there. Next thing I want to bring up here is in verse 20, of every sort shall come unto thee. Folks, those animals came to the ark, and then Noah loaded them up. Think of that. They came to the ark. Now, one thought, when I read this passage, every time I've ever read it, there's something that I think about. And again, what's your thoughts on this? Whether you think the same way I do or whether you don't, it's actually irrelevant. It's just something of interest. Folks, the topic of dinosaurs, when you think of the ark, it being 3 stories, read about that yesterday, and the way the dinosaurs are pitched. I mean, you go to the museums, you look at those huge big bone structures, you look at the way they are. Now, folks, I battle to grasp the idea of dinosaurs being on the ark. Now, again, I know this is just irrelevant talk here, but it's something of interest. If we think about it, just interests me, and I'm just bringing it up. What are your thoughts? I know it's not important. What's important for us to do is to get out there and share the gospel of Christ so that folks can get saved. God's will be for all men to be saved, and come into the knowledge of the truth. That's our number one focus. But having read this passage, just by the by, dinosaurs, I personally just can't. I just can't join the dots about it. The size of them, what they would eat. Oh no, folks, I've also heard some faithful men say maybe they came on as babies. I personally don't get that. I don't buy that, but it is a thought. What are your thoughts on it? Love to hear from you about it, And again, it's neither here nor there. If you agree or disagree, it's just an interesting topic that comes up when I read this passage. I'm just looking at the time. Time's pretty much up. Listen, folks, thanks very much for listening today. Please, if you've got the time, share this on your socials. Let's get the goal here is to get God's word out there, and let's do that. Secondly, if you are looking for a new podcast, Dave Stout, Brother Dave Stout, or Pastor Dave Stout's got a new one out called Grace Unfiltered. You can find it on Veed.io. Check it out. And if you're looking for a website for more study material, shorewoodbiblechurch.org, go check that out. And or Wholesome Words Wednesday on Spotify or YouTube. Lastly, remember to keep your sword sharp, soldier. Till we meet again tomorrow if the Lord tarries. Grace and peace to you. Maranatha.